for the 2 minutes and then you can start.
Sounds
and
good.
we need to wait for Kumar as well, right?
I believe so. Let me see. I know he accepted. Let me just see if he's in the lobby. That's okay. We'll get started right at the hour.
Yeah. I'll be in touch with Kumar about that tax issue later on. I will not discuss it here.
Yeah, and my accounting team's looking into it as well. We'll see. We'll look to straighten that all out. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So sorry if there's an echo.
I'll mute.
Okay, so welcome everyone. If you do have any questions, feel free to stop me at any time. Just raise your hand. Send any direct questions maybe in the chat, and we can, I'm hoping to make this a very dynamic training session where I want to review something that we did last time. I'll do that in a few minutes, and then I want to go over a few new topics as well. So let me just get started. So, looking at the agenda, and, looking just to do a recap of the Freedom to Operate workflow, and then discuss a little bit about HD Analyze. It's a very new feature that we didn't get to cover in the last training. We launched that feature very late last year, and so I want to discuss that a little bit more and how that can help you in your research. And then discovering companies around the topic of licensing, as you have research that you may want to have other companies be aware of. And there's a way you can maybe uncover which companies may be interested in your research. And then I'd like to leave some time for open discussion and requests. And we can go through anything at that point. Okay. And I'll just give a sec. I know a few people might be coming in as we're talking. So let me just, and what I'll do for now is I will just stop my camera just so this goes a little bit smoother. And I'm going to go through just a few points on the slide deck. And again, I will go through this on the engine as well. But as you do use our engine, we have selecting the content and the collections. There is that little icon on the left. We've kind of made that more apparent now. I know that was a bit of a problem area, so we've made it so it's very clear what collections you're looking at. If you're non-patent or patent collections, you can combine them, and then you can edit those to whatever you want. So we're just going to keep it at these top 5, IP5 and WO. Go back. Sorry. Yeah, so the content, and then for your initial search content, to do a Freedom to Operate, make sure you're on the patent publications, and then you look to create that search content. Just write up as much as you feel is necessary to describe your content. The engine is capable of handling a large amount of data into that and into the search context. It's not a keyword type search. It is a search that is expecting concepts At minimum 6 to 8 words is best for a minimum set, but it can do more. You can put in an entire patent. You can put a paragraph in here. Again, just want to call that out as it's very important for the content search, the concept search. So the from that now you can filter with these various Boolean filters. For example, your enforceability, you can just look at active patents. With that, when you're doing your search, you have the various panes. Make sure you can take advantage of that to make things more efficient for yourself. So we have the multi-pane view. And as I stay with that view, you can kind of go through a list of patents as you're looking through them. To your right, you can focus on just the front page, or just if you want to look at figures on another pane. All that can happen in one selection, so you can review. Maybe you're looking just at the claims and you want to look at also figures along with it. You can do that very easily. Highlighting, again, is another thing that in the window panes you can add the highlighting. You can add your own words. So if you had highlighted words that you prefer, you can customize that. That may make your efforts very easy. So just want to make you aware there is custom highlighting. You can highlight the concept terms that your search is providing. So you can just automatically get all those highlighted as necessary. So we have some flexibility there. And then, of course, want to make it clear that there are concept modifiers. So you're refining your search. If you put in a few words around your search and you want to add words to that search, you can make it more like, less like. That's very important to, I would say, tweak your results so they meet more of your needs. You can filter the claims. So if that's something that you want to go through and make sure that the claims go into the Boolean filter around claims and put in maybe text that it must contain. So that's another way to kind of, I would say, refine your search. And then just make sure you utilize the visualizations. I'm going to go through more of that today, especially around our new HD analyze visual. So, this is just a recap on the freedom to operate. And from that, I'm going to just kind of switch real quick before we talk about HD Analyze into the engine here. So I'm just going to get out of that for a second. And just make sure, again, I talk about this engine and the way it works. And I'm going to share with you again as I put in a concept or a few words into here. This is something that, again, is recommended that you put in a sentence or so. You're putting in a concept before you do your search. So this would be like a minimal type application. Maybe you want to start with a broad search. That's okay. I'm just going to run this search. And I want to point out a lot of this is about the relevance. So we do have this relevance scale. So it's looking at that concept around lithium ion batteries used in automotive applications. And it's looking to find what's very relevant to it. And the flatter this curve is, the more I would say it's just going to be a little bit more challenging to find maybe exactly very precise. But if you're just looking at, sorry, just some more people in. If you're just looking on this search and you're trying to understand more around the technology, as you can see, this is resulting in 8.7 million results. That's okay. You can look at the cutoff, and I can make my relevancy cutoff to 4 stars. And as I do that, that's going to bring down the results down to 3.5. becomes very small. Now I know that this graph only shows 1500. These are just so for the speed of the results, we reduce it to 1500 by default. You can always change this to a larger number. So you can kind of see everything now in the results. I just narrowed it down, but this is the results that come back. And so with that cutoff, I can analyze a little bit more with my visuals. And I can bring in all my visuals here. And the one thing I'd recommend, so what this engine is doing, is I would recommend looking at such as the heat map I mentioned earlier in the slide presentation, or the term cloud, to understand if I want to study about lithium ion batteries around automotive applications. I want to see what search terms it's bringing back. So there's concept terms that are not the search terms in blue. There's the search terms that I put into my concept field. So it's finding a lot around this, and I can modify now my search, as I was saying before, very easily in here. So if I really want to understand more around salts that are involved in this process, I might want to add that and make that more relevant. I want to apply that. Now, this is the only thing besides changing the concept that's going to change your relevancy curve and what impacts that. So
I'm sorry, David. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, some people are saying they can't see the screen. I can see it.
Oh, okay.
Amila, Professor Amila.
Yes, madam, I will rejoin again.
You are going to rejoin. Anyone else? Professor Iswara Mohan, can you see the slides? Or Dr. Chamira?
Yes, it's fine for me.
Okay.
I can see.
Rejoin.
Okay,
Yes, madam,
right.
we can see the screen.
Okay. Sorry, David. The Professor Amila will rejoin. You can continue. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. No problem. Yeah, please stop me at any time. Sorry about that. As I was stating, so now this concept modifier, we're adding in salt. I could add in more terms in here. I could add in, larger pieces of information. I don't need to just add in one term, but just for simplicity, I'm just putting in one term. It helps guide my search to more of what I want, and I want to focus on that. So this is a weighted average. With that said, I recommend as you start adding, 2, 3, maybe more than 4 of these, I would pause. I would reconsider maybe first rewriting what you have in here, and before you add, I would say more than 3 modifiers. It just gets the results to be a little bit more challenging. So I recommend only a few is what I recommend around that. So with that, I just wanted to point out again, you have these panes here to help you as you bring in your search for, say, a freedom to operate, and you're looking at everything. And I recommend that, again, that you use these and you can customize this layout. So if I want to, I can make my list over here. And put my figures there, and I can put my tab view here. So I can adjust that, and I can make it so it's all equal. So I just want to make you aware of how you can use this in different ways. I'm just going to go back to kind of what I already had. Kind of have my list to the right here. And what I don't have on is, as I was saying before, is it'll stay on the tab you want it on. So if you want to really go through, say, the legal and understanding what companies are in here and looking through them and seeing what actions, enforceability, you could do that. Or if you just want to look at the claims, same thing. You can just go through each list that way, and then you could have the figures come up that will be right there. And these pop out very easily, these figures, so you can get a closer look at them. And then you can also, I want to point out that you can add your custom filtering here, as I was stating before. So again, search terms that I used on that are listed for me, so I can easily just add those search terms and enable that. And so now my search terms are already enabled for all my highlighting. The other, I would say, time saver that we have around this is what we call our Synopsis AI. I'm going to disable highlighting. You can turn on Synopsis AI, and what this does is, if you look, most often descriptions are very, very lengthy in content. So what we've done is, with our AI, we found a way to take the main concepts that this is talking about, and we turn on Synopsis AI, and we summarize, I would say not summarize, but condense and bring in what really matters in the description. So it can bring a description down to a few pages, down to almost one page, and really calling out the main content in that patent. So, you know, and once that's on, you can keep that, it'll stay on. It's a sticky feature that'll stay on throughout your process of reviewing patents. So you can kind of just, definitely something to take a look at. A lot of our customers like this. Is a very big time saver. If I turn this off, you know, this description is very lengthy, and then I have to go back to my highlighting to find maybe key things I want, but this just calls it all out for you. You know, so if you're looking at these concepts in general, you get the main piece of it right in there. So I just wanted to make sure I call that out, so you're clear on that's kind of a new feature that we've implemented that will hopefully save you time. Now let's see. So I'm just going to go back to so multiple panes here. You can go to a double pane as well. This is just another simple 2-pane to go through the tabs very easily with the list on the left. And then you can come back here, and of course, you know, you have your visuals at any point to bring up your visuals just to look more on what this is returning, especially around your ultimate parents and what companies are in there. And this is just a good to look at both the count of which companies got the most, and then you can add in the relevancy switch, which just gets you like what relevancy has, if there's anything below 4 stars or whatever. I cut this off at 4 stars, so this doesn't show as nicely, but you can kind of get the idea of how you can look at 2 things at once, and then you can understand the top, I would say, companies or current assignees that are in this space. Let's see. So this is a simple kind of word, and it really covers a higher area. I'm just going to change my cutoff back to none. And then I'm going to get rid of my modifier for a little bit here. And I'm just going to share with you putting in a larger concept. So our engine is able to, put in more than, and handle more than just one few words or keywords. Sorry, I'm just seeing if I have a chat here real quick. Yeah, so use the pop-up option and enlarge the screen if not visible. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully you can see everything okay. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger as well, so you can see. So I'm going to search on this. This is kind of coming out of a claim from a particular patent, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a search now. And again, my collection is So I'm just looking on these patent authorities. I can include it to be more patent authorities worldwide. I often just pick these top authorities for some initial analysis here. Again, this is a very large set of data that's expected, and it's more around bringing this down to, we'll get it down to maybe just the four stars and just get a smaller set. Now, some other filters I can add is I can add the enforceability, and I can just look at what's active or what's new, incoming, pending in this area. So I'm going to add those, redo my search. And again, this gets into be a very, large set of data still. That's okay. I am going to kind of look to still, add some filters in here just to show you kind of some next steps. So I can add in a technology filter if I wanted to. Yeah, let me just look at this. Bring this up real quick. So I like to look at some of the IPC codes, the classification codes that are on here, right? And then maybe look at the larger set to make sure I'm not in another technology area. I can get down to more around, electricity, electronics, and all that. And I may go to a higher class just to filter that out. So in doing that, I'm just going to do names, ID codes, classification. So the one I'm going to look at is mostly around batteries. So I'm going to include this IPC code, and then I'm going to add that to the search. And that, as you can see, brought my results down. I'm just going to increase my cutoff. So that brought my results way down for this particular search. So I do want to be careful, as I want to point out, is as you limit to these types of codes, it has to have this code on it, and it can easily be missing that code. So that's just something to be aware of and be careful as you add this in. So I'm just gonna delete this. Oops. And then go back to searching. Okay, so the one thing I want to share now is I do want to show HD Analyze and the HD Analyze feature functionality. So just want to go back to my PowerPoint. As we go into HD Analyze, so what we've provided is in the past there was a topic map, and we talked about it last time. So we've added various widgets, and the purpose of this is really to have a better capability and visibility to drill down into large sets of patent data or any technical data that we have through non-patent literature as well. But so we have multiple now 2 category type capabilities, categories map in general, along with our classic topic map, our semantic map that we've had in the past. We also have, all in one, you can kind of see other filters like classification filters and the ultimate parents. And then this is a very dynamic, and I'll show you in a second, where as you select items, it will be able to, everything will be updated live for you. So you can kind of, you can get to some answers very quickly around a particular topic. So let me just have another chat question. Okay, is there an option to identify the companies which are looking and searching for license in a particular technology we own, other than forward citations and looking at current assignees. Okay, so that companies that we're looking for searching for license in a particular we own. Yeah, so if you know, and I'll do this as an example with just any company that I have in my current search. So let me just show that right now. So I've done my search, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this over to HD Analyze mode. Just like with the visuals, and I just want to kind of share with you, you may see this as two panes initially. So what you may have seen in the past is something like this in your engine, where it's been names, the topic maps on the right, and all we've really done is we've expanded this to include more widgets, more capabilities. Right now, you can get this up to 20,000 results if you want. This just becomes the speed of what things are doing. So we're just going to look at the top 5,000 for this particular search. And what I'm going to do is kind of answer that question in the chat here first. So it's probably not necessarily easy to know like what companies are looking to license. But what I'm going to hopefully show you is you can look at a particular technology and see what companies are involved in that technology, and that's more of the point I want to get to. So for example, yeah, well, first, yeah, I'm going to come back to the answer. Before I do that, I just want to share a little bit about HD Analyze, so you're understanding more and capable of using this feature set. So there's a focus area. There are widgets up in here, and there's different highlights. I can now add in here multiple panes, and I can drag and drop any one of my widgets kind of into those panes to make them more active. So in this pane here, I can just drag in the category widget. So now the category widget's all in there. I can then take and you can see there's an area where there's no widget. So I can put in my resultant list, which is already there. And I want to put in my names, which this gives me my company names in here. And then my classifications, I can adjust this to make IPC full code, kind of see kind of what technology area am I in, and what's the main IPC code that we're talking about. So for example, if I'm looking at this lithium ion sulfur battery, right, and I'm looking at this concept, and maybe this is a technology that I'm researching and heavily involved in, I can now understand, as I put that concept in, I can now look to understand maybe everything that's around this area, and I can maybe now refocus on what I'm specifically doing in this area. So for example, say I'm working on sodiums and salts around this concept. I may want to look and I can select that category, and I can, with that category, I can look at the different companies. So I'm going to expand this up, and I can see the different companies that are in here. Now, the one thing that we can do with HD Analyze is we can look at the relevance of our concept to better understand maybe which companies are more like this concept search. So real quick, the IPC code, how can that be done? Is it from our side or else? So the IPC code is just a standard classification around technology. You can go to our knowledge base, and let me just do this. Let me just duplicate this real quick. Sorry, we'll go to our knowledge base on that. So IPC code. And again, this is not our classification. This is just like CPC codes in the US. This is the international codes to kind of organize patent content and classify it in a certain way. I don't know why it's taking a little longer than it should. So you can go into the WIPO classification for that, and the full definitions are there, even though our site will give you a highlighted definition as you click on the eye icon. So this is kind of where you can look this up, and you can look up various IPC codes in here. And like this one would be around, probably would be the H for electricity. And then you can see all the different codes here. As you get into H1, and I think it was H6 is the batteries that we were looking at. I don't know why it's not showing up. So that's where kind of just hopefully that answers the question there. But as I was stating, is I have a concept. I'm looking at now using the category widget to understand I'm involved in more into this area around all these other all these other areas. I can highlight that area quickly, and then I can look at the ultimate parents that are in this area. I've also implemented a relevancy highlighting capability. So when I look at these, I can see which ones are more relevant to my concept and what I'm focused on. So, you know, with that said, I would take this list, and this would be now my list to go after and talk to these companies, maybe interested in licensing research that I have, or maybe technology that I have. You know, with this company in particular, maybe being a main focus. I can highlight, I can add that as a filter, which I just, or as a highlight. And now all my, and it's interesting, this one stayed. That means that these two are working together on patents, which I'm going to show you a way to find as well. So now I have all these highlights that are over here. So I've highlighted just this company. In the categories, I've highlighted the particular category. So that's all selected. And when I go into my resultant list, it's only going to be from this company. So if I look at this particular patent and I go to my legal tab, I can come in here and find my company information on this company. And, you know, before I do that, I might just want to validate, you know, what they're working on in the claims and see if it matches, you know, would be interested for my technology. And then I would go into the legal, and I could get, you know, the company's phone number, all their details, a description of what the company's all about, if I want to learn a little bit more, financials. And then on top of that, what we have done with S&P market intelligence, the data that we bring in, there's the children of that company. So if there's a company in here that that, you know, this is another, maybe a way in to contact the company through this. Now, one thing I pointed out is, why is this university also showing up? Well, that must mean that the ultimate parent there must be two ultimate parents. And there's a way you can do this in your searches, is you can do what we call name count. And in name count, what this allows people to do is look at an ultimate parent, meaning that there is more than one entity or companies involved or current assignees involved, and you can just select more than one. And so that I'm going to do a search on that. And it should come back with and show me just those two. Oh, so I got rid of all my, I just realized I got rid of all my filters when I did that. But when I now look at some of these patents in here, I can understand that there's two companies working on these patents. And sometimes it shows companies, sometimes it points out universities and companies working together on a particular technology. So that's just, see if I can give some other examples in this. Yeah, so this is a company, not sure what this is, if that's a university or not. So that's something you can do. Now, one of the things you can do, I'm just trying to get back, I wonder if I can get back to where I was, is you could also combine that, this filter with a name count with a university. So you could do a, I don't remember that university, but you could do an ultimate parent filter and plug in the university so you can see what university is already maybe partnering with a company. And that might be a good thing to do to avoid or understand what, you know, other universities are doing, what your competition's doing, and avoid maybe an area or see where there's a need in an area. So I'm just going to delete this real quick. Search. Back to that. The other thing on HD Analyze that we have is in a particular area, you may want to understand not necessarily relevance, but you want to understand, you know, what's going on with publication data. So is the date newer or is it older? And you know, and you might want to even see that based on the company. So that's another maybe lever to understand like which companies are more active recently in this technology area that you could approach, right? So that might be another thing to look at as well. You know, turn that filter on. So the other thing that you can do is I go to do another search is if I do a new search, oops, and you want to just do a technology search on a particular area, you can go, I mentioned the IPC codes again, but you can put in an IPC code, add that code, and then you could search on that entire technology. And again, it's you know, it's got 10,000 around this particular code around batteries, and you can get to HD Analyze. Yeah. And you can. Yeah. So from here, you can kind of understand, okay, now I'm not in a concept, so I have no relevancy of anything, but I can maybe try and understand in this particular, with this IPC code, you know, what's going on. Again, this is where you can go to WIPO, as I was saying before, around that particular code. And just learn and see, okay, what are people filing under here? What companies are filing under here? And you can drill down in. So if you say you want the electrical cell core and you want to understand more about that in a particular area and who's working, you know, in that, you can do that with this. So that's something, maybe you're trying to find a new area and you could research these IPC codes and try and find if something meets, you know, something in your area that you're researching. So talking about, I'm just going to answer the questions by analyzing patent portfolios, a particular company, is there a way to figure out acquired or licensed patents? So that's a good question. So if I want to, let me just move this filter. Let me just think of, well, this is I'm going to go back to my search history real quick and go back to here, running HD analyze. And what I'm going to do is I'll keep the modifier. That won't hurt anything. I think what I want to do is I want to get a particular company. So let's do like LG Chemicals. And like LG Chemical LD. So just going to add this to the names. Actually, there's an easier way to do this in Discovery. Let's do that real quick. Count. So I'm going to add LG Chemical, apply them. And then I'm going to delete this. Try and understand. I want to delete. So in this area, I can look at the company in general. So I can probably get rid of all this. And then do my search with no content yet. So I have no concept. And I'm just looking at LG Chemical, which has got 153,000 patents. And that's all I'm looking at. So which one of these that contain LG Chemical now have a name count of 2 is what I'd want to find. And there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. So as I look at some of these, I'm just going to go to the 2 pane real quick. And again, you can see and it's not necessarily clear if they're licensing them or exactly. So I don't know if we have details on that, but this would indicate some type of relationship around a particular company and how much are they working with other entities around that. Now, the tricky part is I would have to come here also and look at the children, because some of these multiple entities could be a child of that company that's on the patent. But this would maybe get you a start to understanding if any of these patents were in this company were licensed. But I don't have, I would say, direct licensing data. It's just more around, you can see the multiple assignees assigned to a patent. I don't know why that one's not coming up. Internet's just slow here a little bit. Oh, I'm just go. So legal. Yeah, so I don't think this was a company. This could be a patent that they either licensed, or I don't think that's one of their child companies. Let me just see here. LG. And it's not. So that would be, that would be a way to kind of maybe find some of the patents that are licensed. And what you can do again is you get this list. Maybe I would want to pare this list down from 4,000 results Might want to add some more filters in here. I might not care about patents that are not active. So I might just select those and then get these down a little bit more. I didn't get it down a lot. And I may maybe look at some other things to pare it down, but I can take this list and I can also export this out into Excel. And then I could filter that way as well. And do some more data analysis around that. So I can export to Excel using my different selections. I would, pick some of the main ones, but the biggest thing to understand is this ultimate parent, first all and count of ultimate parents. And then you could extract that all out, and then from there you could determine who's working with who and potentially licensing patents with the patent numbers. Can add enforceability, prosecution. The also nice thing about I wanted to point out about exporting things out is you can do other analytics around citing. So forward citations and backward citations cited. You can do here as well. So you can get these counts. Up in here, you can get the cited patent counts and the citing forward patent counts details as well. So that's something that just want to make you aware of. I think that's also very helpful. I can show you that in a PowerPoint. So if I have a list of documents and I want to understand which ones has the most forward citations in my list, I can quickly do that, filter it, right, and then I can look at that particular patent and see, and discover and look a little bit more around it. Maybe take these patent lists that are mostly cited and do more analysis on that. So again, you have capabilities to take that patent data and export it to Excel. And of course, there's other download capabilities as well. Taking the full PDFs of the document files and such. So you have that ability as well to download and keep it in that manner, along with obviously any results you do search. You can save your search query, you can save the content in a portfolio, and so there's a lot of management around this to save you time. So is there a way to search using an existing patent claim as a reference to find statements in other patent claims? So let's look at that. So if I take a patent claim, I can search, I can copy the claim 1, for example, and I can put that in my concept search. And let me just fix something. I got a lot of features on here. So I'm still looking at just active patents, and I'm looking at that particular claim. So I'm searching on this claim and to find similar like statements around that. The relevancy curve is telling me just that. So it's telling me, these stars are here are 0.78, saying that this is, my statement. There's something very, very similar to it in that patent. And then you can see as it goes down, it gets less and less. But anything that's 4 stars is definitely looking at something that's similar. 5 stars, it's very likely, and that's where you get into, I would say, your patentability even concern. Anything like 0.78 relevant is looking like it's very, very similar or close to it. If you get 0.78 and higher, then I would say that there's a patent that's talking exactly about what you're trying to do. And if it gets 0.78 and less than that, then there's some more investigation has to happen, but likely it's you're farther away from it. And again, to maybe take that whole claim and find it exactly word for word into other ones, that would just, that would probably be, you'd probably have to take it out of this tool and put it in Excel or something to do that. The one thing you could do is, again, with our highlighting, you could take, you could take like a statement. You could probably try and take a lot of this. And let me just open one up. Custom highlighting. I'm going to add some terms. So I'm added a big term in there like that. I'm going to enable it. And so let me just do something to make this a little bit clearer. I'm getting rid of my automatic terms. I'm looking at my manual terms and I'm applying it so that now I can put in a large statement, right? And you can see that it's in there. If I wanted to do the whole claim, I could probably put that in there. I haven't tested the limitations of how many words go into that highlighting term, but this is something you could do. And then if I do this 2-pane here real quick, you can see you can try and find it pretty quick into a document, or if it's in a claim. And if it's not highlighted, it's not there, right? So again, I think it was just in this one, English. Yeah, it was just kind of in this one. So I don't know if I answered your question exactly, but hopefully that was a little bit helpful of how you can put in a claim and you can search and look at that. Back. So I'm just going to pause there for a second. I'm going to go back to my slide deck. And I know we try to talk about discovering companies recommend for your technology for licensing. So yeah, what you really want is this matching capability. You're not the only university that's come to us that's looking for this capability to take research, and the challenge that you have is you're looking to do something in a particular way. How can you find the exact company that's trying to do that in their process? And it's not always clear based on the end product that they're delivering to customers what their challenges are and what they're trying to do. So and again, as you put in a term, you can drill down, I think, quickly with HD Analyze. And then you can look to get that corporate tree data, in the patents. You can find each one, or you can go directly into the corporate tree data. Okay, so unlocking. I'm just going to copy this claim that you're putting in here. Okay, so let me just do this. So I do want to look at, putting in this particular claim here. Okay, so, and you say, I need to find patents which use similar restrictive statements from computing devices. So, one of the things around, something with computing devices is I might do a little bit of research and try and limit the IPC or CPC codes around computing devices. And so, because some of these patents here, let's just, I mean, this is coming into a little bit of electronic equipment. And you can kind of see, with this particular statement, there's some pieces that aren't, very relevant, but there's some that are 4 and 3 stars. And so, putting that in, and then finding, modifiers to it. you know, one of the things you can do, for example, is make this patent, if this patent, its claims, if that's something that you want to add to your, replaces the main concept or make it more like this, you can add a patent to these modifiers. And that can help adjust your results. So now I have this particular as my concept, and I have this patent as a modifier, right? So I just want to make you aware that there's that technique of doing that, but you know, again, you might want to, you know, tweak this to what you want to add more like, or tweak your concept so it fits. See what the results are. So it's still a very large amount of results. And then this is where you want to get into your relevancy cutoff to understand where you really want to be. 4 is a little too much, right? Because it just comes back with 3 patents. So you want to adjust that a little bit, depending on what you're looking to see. Hopefully that kind of helped you there. So, you know, if you put a claim in and you try and limit it, there's multiple ways you can limit that. And then the last, you know, the other thing I was mentioning is just looking into the IPC codes around computing devices. I mean, you can even look at this, for example, you can even look at this first patent here and look at international codes around that. And you might not want to go as deep down as the subcode here, but you might want to do something around computing and calculating, like a G06, you know, as an IPC limitation at least. So you can kind of go up here, IPC G06, and then you can do a star after that. So then just to make sure you get the right content. So that did cause a little bit of limitation and brought it down. Hopefully that was, again, that's helpful in what you're looking to do. I did want to pause. I didn't realize as I was going through everything that we are close to the end of time. Is there any other questions that I can help anyone with? And I just want to remind everyone before I open for questions that there is this knowledge base that we have here that is very something that we put a lot of time in to help you and guide you on anything that you're doing. But if you are stuck and this does not help you, please always come and select this question mark that you should see and put in a request to our support team, and we look at these. We'll get back to you with answers through email. I know that we're at a different time zone, so we won't get back to you as quick, but if you put it in, we'll get back to you by the next morning, so you can see that. So I want to make you aware of that. Any other questions? I saw some in the, I hopefully answered some of the ones in the chat. Is there other ones that someone would like to bring up?
Adam, you have anything to tell David or ask? I think you have done a good job here.
Thank you, Kumar, for joining, and thank you, David, for staying up late at night to help us understand this more. I just have one question from the participants. Because there are some new UBL directors and managers, I hope all of you have the username and the password to access. If not, please inform Kumar now. Except the Vaunia University and Vaunia and Gampha Vikamarachi.
Yes, madam. I'm Koneshwaran from Eastern University, the director UBL. The previous director said he has misplaced the username and password, so I couldn't find the username and password. So, if possible, if you can.
Kumar, can you help?
What you can do is let him share his email address to you, madam, and then
Okay.
you forward, and then we can check with David to get it done. David, am I correct on that?
Yes, yes. Just would need the email address and the name, and that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give the. I think we should try to stick to UBL email. Yes, Kumar.
No, that's not me. Somebody else, I think.
Okay, so let's do it this way. I'll write the name of the university and the name of the previous UBL director, current UBL director, and we'll try to use Professor, not Professor Andrew, Professor Koneshwaran. Let's try to get the UBL email address and get the password done. Thank you.
Oh,
Anyone
oh,
else?
oh.
I mean, also, madam, if anyone have left already from that list of, the registered members before, you can let us know also so we can remove. Correct, David?
Yeah, that's correct. So any
Yeah.
ones that are no longer valid, we can provide, we can give you the list again. And then, we can update that with anyone new that we would need to add. That's no problem.
Okay, David, then maybe you can send the list, then we will update and send it back to you with the request from Eastern University.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. That's good. Yeah. So it's 1 o'clock for David. So I think he
Yes.
should go to sleep
Yes,
now.
yes.
Thank you, David, as usual. Excellent
Yeah,
job. And thank you, madam. And, for arranging this. I think if anyone have any concerns or any questions, you can reach out to madam and she will forward to us.